Hi everyone, Steven Jackson with Integrated Wealth Management back here for the final video that we're going to discuss these retirement accounts. And so in the past few videos, we've primarily been talking about the tax deferred account and the tax-free accounts. Now, just to recap, tax deferred are going to be your 401ks, your IRAs that are on the traditional side, pre-tax dollars. You have yet to pay taxes on it, but as you put the money in, you're able to defer it. So that's the benefit there. A few videos ago, that's what we focused on. Then the last video, what we talked about was this tax-free bucket. We talked about a few different type of accounts here, but we really kind of focused on the Roth, and that's what I want to focus on in this final video. So now that you understand these account types a little bit better, let's focus on now how to get money into that Roth bucket. And so if you are currently working, you have earned income, there's two ways to do that. So the first way is just through a standard Roth contribution. And so that's just opening up a Roth IRA at Fidelity, who we use, Schwab, any kind of brokerage out there where you're able to hold some account. There are some pretty low limits there depending on your age, between $7,500 and $8,600 of what you can put in there every year. But fortunately, more and more what we are seeing within companies is they're offering a Roth 401k option, and the limits are much higher on that end there. And so I'd recommend reach out to your plan administrator, see if they offer a Roth 401k option. While you don't get to defer the taxes this year, you are able to begin building that tax-free bucket. Now, if you don't currently have earned income, there is another way to put funds into these account types, and that's through a Roth conversion. And so that's what we're going to be talking about now. It's something we've done for our clients for a long time. That's taking money out of the tax deferred bucket, paying taxes on it today, and moving it over into the Roth bucket. And so that provides us with a lot of benefits. One, it makes every year our tax picture to be predictable. We know exactly what's going into it and not getting hit with that surprise whenever you turn RMD age, where a lot of people are getting their income from sources that are forced, whether it's through income annuities, Social Security, pensions. All of a sudden you hit age 73 and your tax bill just grows a ton because now you're forced to take money out of the tax deferred bucket. So what our goal is over time is to kind of even these buckets out. Most of the time when we meet people for the first time, they have a huge tax deferred bucket, which makes sense. It's what we've been encouraged to do for a long time and throughout your entire career. And I'd say on average, it takes about 7 years for us to kind of balance these out a little bit. All right, and so just a few rules that we like to follow whenever we're doing conversions on the Roth side. You can convert as much as you want, but know that you're paying taxes on that amount. And so if you have $1 million in your 401k, you say, I want all of my money out of my 401k because I don't trust, where tax rates are going. Well, you can convert that all in a single year, but your income is going to be $1 million, and so you're going to be taxed pretty heavily on that amount. One other rule we like to follow whenever we're doing conversions, we do like to wait towards the end of the year to do conversions, because what happens when we meet somebody, they might have all their money stashed away on the tax deferred side. We do a conversion early on in the year. Well, later on in the year, we find out they need a new roof, they need to buy a new car, they want to take an emergency vacation. Well, all those things are going to be taxable. We've already done a Roth conversion. And so now when we take more money out of the pre-tax side of things, odds are we're going to bump you into the next tax bracket. And that's something we want to avoid doing. So by the end of the year, we have a pretty good idea of what expenses are going to be for the rest of the year and how much income you've already taken in for that year. And so we can be a lot more specific on how much we're able to convert. Let me give you a caveat to that. We want to take advantage of the market when it's in all different types of environments. When the market's doing well, we love to see that because we love market growth. But how do we take advantage when the market is down? A few ways of doing that is in non-qualified accounts, we do tax loss harvesting. But on the Roth conversion side, when the market is down, that is when we like to do conversions because we're paying taxes on something that's compressed, move it over into the tax-free bucket. As it grows there in a tax-free environment. One of the scenarios we like to use whenever we're doing our workshops is talking about a client who loves to take cruises. He has a lot of cruise line holdings. And so you think Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian Cruise Lines. So what happened during COVID? We saw these stocks disproportionately hit. Same with any hospitality, restaurants, airlines, hotels, disproportionately hit to the rest of the market. Well, we know a lot of these big names aren't going anywhere, so what we did is we took this account that used to be worth $100,000 that shrunk down to $30,000. We paid taxes on that $30,000, slid it over into the Roth. Whenever those cruise lines came back, that was growing in a completely tax-free environment. And so that would be the only caveat when we do see these market swings, whether we're doing that full conversion for the year or just a partial conversion for that year, that is a good time to do that on the Roth side. Let me give you a quick scenario, because besides getting money into the Roth, I want to show you how we like to use the Roth once you start funding that. And so if you've been to any of our workshops on the tax side, we love doing case studies. So I'm going to share one of those with you now. We have two wonderful clients. We're going to call them Bob and Mary. So let's say Bob and Mary meet us when they're 62 years old. And in the first scenario here, we're going to say they come to us with $500,000 in their IRA. And they say, you know what, guys, we don't want you to do any tax planning. We just want you to invest this. We don't need this money, and just go with it. And we're pretty conservative. So we only want this, not running too wild. We're going to use a 6% growth rate on this. And so from age 62 to age 73, and if you've been paying attention in previous videos, the reason I'm talking about age 73 is because that is the RMD age. So we take this 500,000, growing at 6% over an 11-year period, and what we have here is roughly $950,000 that we're able to save within that within the 401k IRA pre-tax bucket. Something that happens here is we are going to start having to withdraw required minimum distributions. In this case, let's say it's about $30,000 that they have to pull out each and every year. And we're going to fast forward even longer here, age 90, and what we're going to see is approximately 1.1 million remaining within the IRA, and that's after RMDs continue to come out and RMDs continue to grow as you get older there. And so what happens with this 1.1 million, if Bob and Mary both pass, is that gets inherited by the kids. The kids have 10 years to get rid of that money. Now the IRS, they knew what they were doing when it comes to how can they get the most tax dollars out of this money. And so likely Bob and Mary are passing at age 90. The kids are at the very ends of their careers themselves, so they're probably making quite a bit of money. And so that could be, $100,000 extra a year that those kids have to claim on. When it's all said and done between RMDs and what the kids are paying taxes on, we're actually seeing about $800,000 total in taxes between RMDs and what the kids are paying on that inherited IRA as well. If you have more than $500,000, let's say you have $1 million in your pre-tax dollars, you can double that. If you have half of that, $250,000, then you can cut that number in half. Anyway, we know, just because we've run the numbers and we've seen this played out with our clients over the years, there's a better way to do this type of scenario here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take that 500,000 and we're going to see where are they on the tax bracket. And let's say in this particular situation, let's say they're still in the 12% federal bracket, and let's say they have $25,000 left before it jumps up to the 22% bracket. So what we're going to do is they're still age 62. We're still going to grow this at 6%. And we are going to begin converting $25,000 every year. And what that nets out to, because we're paying taxes on it, 12%, they're able to convert and net $22,000, okay? So starting at age 62, that's where we are. We're going to jump down to age 73. Why age 73? Because that's when RMDs begin. And over the course of that 11-year period, taking $22,000 putting it in 11 times, and then growing at a 6% rate, we're gonna have approximately, it's about $330,000. Okay. Now, the only reason I'm stopping at age 73 for this scenario is because once you hit age 73, whatever's left in your pre-tax dollars, you have to start pulling out. We know that the RMD is right around 30,000, and so they've gotten to the end of the 12% tax bracket. So we're going to pause Roth conversions. We're not going to be doing any more. And so age 73, we have 330,000. And again, I just want to stop there to talk about what can we do with that money. They're 73 years old, still a lot of retirement and a lot of life left in them. And so what can we do with this money? Let's put it into a dividend portfolio that's averaging 7% per year. And so we're able to really start claiming quite a bit of money. What is that, about $21,000, $22,000 a year? That's entirely tax-free because that's coming from a Roth account. Let's say we want to start using some of this for gifting now because the grandkids are, needing that money for certain things. We're able to make withdrawals from this without impacting your tax situation. And then lastly, because typically we do like Roths to have the longest time horizon, this is where we put our most aggressive holdings, is within a Roth. We know it's growing tax-free. We know it's the last bucket that we want to access because, hey, Uncle Sam's coming for that pre-tax dollars anyways. Might as well pull your IRA out first and then access the Roth. But a lot of different things that we can do with this Roth. Now let's keep going down to age 90, and we're right around 950 to about 1 million in total dollars that are all 100% yours. You've paid taxes on it, all the growth that you've seen over the years, that is yours, and all it was 11 years of converting, netting $22,000 per year. You'll still have about $600,000 left within your IRA. But what this has done for you is it's reduced your total RMDs, and it's passed on about $1 million to your beneficiaries entirely tax-free. Okay, besides all of this, just knowing that you've gotten your money out of jail, it's entirely yours now. You don't have to worry about taxes and what's going to happen with tax rates down the line. Something else we point out as well, when one spouse passes, the other spouse is now claiming as a single filer, and so their tax bracket is going to increase with the Social Security income, maybe pension income. RMDs are going to be the same, and so that can bump them up into the 22% tax bracket. And so knowing that your spouse has a big Roth bucket to pull from once you pass is also something that can provide a lot of peace of mind. So as I continue to ramble, obviously there's a lot of benefits to doing this. I want you to go back to one of those first videos where we were talking about how those pre-tax buckets, it's not all that bad, just because there is still a lot of time to do these conversions. It's a great time to be doing it, particularly because of that additional standard deduction that was given to folks who are 65 and older. And we still have 3 more years where we're able to take advantage of that. So if you're worried about what your RMD is going to be whenever you hit age 73, age 75 for those who are a little bit younger, give us a call, 330-896-1644. Thanks.